Hey all, how are you? Really, really good to see you tonight. Really good to be on tonight. Sorry, we're having a few wee tech difficulties. I haven't been on in a while actually, and sometimes you lose the knack of all of this, you know. But we're on tonight. Thank you so much for your encouragement to keep going. And we're so thankful that so many people take the time to tune in and listen. And yeah, just so very thankful. Excuse my throat, as they say down south. I am struggling a bit with a cold, etc., etc. But sure, it's the time of the year, isn't it, for that carry on? But listen, so good to see you. Just a wee update, a wee announcement, so you know. Doing a wee prophetic appointment next Thursday night at 8 p.m. Listen, guys, very casual, very simple. Just come on and let's just hear the word of the Lord together and see what he has to say. And I really do hope it's a blessing and a benefit to you. So tonight, I just wanted to share just a few wee simple thoughts. Um, these things have kind of been ruminating in my wee heart, as the man says, and I just thought I would share them with you. And it's on the subject of prophetic discouragement. Prophetic discouragement. And we've all been there. Many of us in recent days, in fact, have been discouraged by the prophetic. And there's reasons for that, and we're not going to go into that tonight, but hasten to say that sometimes we can be discouraged by the prophetic simply because we're listening to too many voices and we're not prioritizing the Lord's voice over other voices. And I've had to do a lot of that. I've had to do a lot of kind of disconnecting from various prophetic voices because, listen, guys, I mean, we can all hear the word of the Lord for ourselves. And so let's practice that and let's prioritize his voice over other voices. And indeed, here in Pioneer's Path, we would encourage you to do that. I do not want you under any circumstances depending on me, on my voice, on my ability to hear the Lord because you can hear him probably better than I can. So that's the first thing. But the second thing is that for so many, we're not prepared to let the word of the Lord change us into the very thing that has been prophesied. And that is vitally important. We've got to give it time. And in this day and age, nobody wants to give anything time. We want it yesterday. Very quickly tonight, because I'm not spending that long on, but very quickly tonight, I want to share just a little verse with you from Psalm 105, and it's verse 19. Story of Joseph, we all know he receives this astonishing prophetic dream when he's a young pup, 16, 17 years of age. And he makes the mistake of sharing that with his family. Although his father, Jacob, on the second time of hearing about this dream, kind of thinks to himself, I wonder if there's anything on that. Gets him thinking. But Joseph had this whole ideology cooked up in his head of being this supreme leader and everybody was going to bow down to him. We know that dream so very well. But here's the thing, guys, that dream, though in his head was concocted into something major, and that's what we can do. We can hear prophetic words from the prophet or from people in our churches or whatever the case is. And we can simply imagine all sorts of things about the word, that we're going to be this and we're going to be that. There's all sorts of grandeur involved in it and what the Lord's going to do. And yet, our perspective of the word and his perspective of the word can be two very different things. And sometimes our perspective, in fact, not sometimes, but all the time, our perspective of the word must line up with his perspective. See, Joseph thought he was going to be this great leader in charge of everything. Everybody was going to be bowing down to him. And of course, he was a great leader, and all that stuff did come to pass. But he was full of pride and full of grandeur and full of arrogance. And all that stuff had to go. And so the Lord needed this 14-year window, can you imagine, before the word come to pass. The word of the Lord had to test him. And that's what the Bible declares in verse 19 of Psalm 105. Until the time that the word came to pass, the word of the Lord tested him. And that's what we're not good at. We're not good at giving the Lord time to test our hearts, to prove our hearts, to bring us into alignment with that which he's prophesied. And guys, that takes time, and that does not happen overnight. And for poor old Joseph, it was 14 years of really tough, difficult situations, a real hard slog, until all of a sudden his perspective of that prophetic dream lined up with the perspective of the Lord. Joseph, you've been chosen to save two nations. You may think this is about you, Joseph. This prophetic utterance is all about you, but actually, no. There's a bigger thing going on here. This is about the saving of two nations. You're only here, Joseph, for my purposes. And, folks, that's what we need to get back to. We need to get back to cutting out a lot of prophetic voices in our lives and not listening to every prophetic voice there is going, because that is so detrimental to us. I don't know how people do it. Like, you think about it in this story of Joseph. Joseph had one prophetic dream in a 14-year period. 14-year period. We're looking for prophetic words every week. How on earth are we going to allow all of those prophetic words to come to pass in our lives? You just don't have the time on earth to do that. So cut out the voices, listen to the voice, prioritize the voice of the Lord. But secondly, give the word of the Lord time and space to move in your life and prepare you for the word, prepare you for what that looks like, prepare you to line up with his perspective. And I think that's the best thing of all, isn't it? Just to get in line with the way he sees it. But we got to give ourselves time for that. So here's the word again. Until the time that his word came to pass, that dream, the word of the Lord tested him, proved him, tried him in every which way but loose. I mean, we got to give the word of the Lord time to test us, guys, and to prepare us for what is ahead. And if we do that, we will not be disappointed in the prophetic. Okay, that's just a little thought for tonight. By the way, next week, next Thursday at 8 p.m., we're doing prophetic appointments. So basically, I think there's a wee advertisement out at the minute. Show you're interested, tell us you're going, and let's join together tomorrow night, or not tomorrow night, Thursday night, and let's see if we can hear the Lord together. And hopefully you're blessed. Hopefully you're blessed. It's just there to bless you and encourage you. Okay? God bless you all. So good to see you tonight. Thank you for tuning in. And we'll see you next Thursday, hopefully all being well. So see you then. God bless you.